everybody, and welcome to SJU, I guess.
Sure.
Yeah, that's,
We'll
you know what,
that.
I'm going to go with that, because the format of this is, it's very reminiscent of the SJUs of old, and, you know, we're so happy to be here this morning to talk all about a little TV show that aired last night, in addition to some big news coming out of Anaheim, California, where Star Wars Celebration is currently happening. Allow me to introduce my wonderful panel here with me today. We have Lon Harris.
Hey, everybody.
And Danielle Radford.
Oh, hi, hello.
And I am Emma Fyffe, in case anybody out there forgot or doesn't know me for some reason. You know, I'm around. Throughout the show, we want to hear from you. You know, there's lots of exciting Star Wars and Lucasfilm stuff happening, so keep those fan questions coming. We're not going to take like a moment at the end where we address all of them, so just as they come in, as we get some good ones, we will do our best to answer them. Now, of course, this is a in-depth discussion of the first 2 episodes of the Obi-Wan series, which mercifully dropped at 9:00 p.m. Pacific time last night instead of at midnight.
What a delight.
Truly,
tight.
Yeah, Disney Plus, if you could keep that up, we would highly appreciate it because we are old.
I feel like Bob Chapek did that one just for me. That was just for me. What a kindness. What a kindness.
I literally had been saying, I was like trying to come up with my plan for how I was going to watch the first 2 episodes before we came in and talked about it today. And I was like, oh man, I guess I'm just going to get up really early and I'm going to come into the office and beat traffic. And then I'll just watch it on my laptop. And then as I was having a conversation with a friend about how I was trying to figure this out is when that tweet went out saying like, hey, Obi-Wan's coming out at 9.
Stay tuned.
Oh, I was catching up on wrestling because I had a wrestling podcast. So I got up at 5 in the morning.
Dang.
Oh my gosh.
You know what? That is commitment to your job, Danielle.
Yeah,
so
really.
Well, also commitment to being a huge nerd.
True.
It's mostly that. I mean, I'm happy I'm here with you today, but it's
Yes.
mostly that I was like, I want to watch this as soon as I get up.
I had just hit play on the most recent episode of Star Trek Strange New World, so the timing was perfect. It was like 42 minutes until Obi-Wan. Captain Pike, what do you got for me?
Crushing
Let's do
it.
this. Let's
Crushing
do this.
it.
Just marathon
Crushing it.
straight through.
yeah.
Great experience.
And I mean, that is truly A+ media-ing Lon.
That's how you do it.
That's how
I
you
mean,
do
if
it.
you can work
That's
it
how
out
you do
that
it.
way. That's the idea.
Years of experience,
Listen.
and that's truly the peak of Lon's career achievements is
Yeah,
perfectly timing out a Star Trek into Star Wars. So
What an achievement.
obviously, spoiler alert, we are going to be spoiling the first 2 episodes of Obi-Wan, so if you have not watched them and you hate spoilers, then I recommend you go away and then come back and watch this later, not in real time.
Yeah, I feel like the whole premise of the show is the spoiler. Like, there's not
It's
a lot.
true.
It's not like a lot of Star Wars shows where there's a ton of like Easter eggs that we could spoil.
We don't really do that.
We don't really do
Yeah.
that anyway. But it's like it's really just like what this show is about was a total surprise to me more than anything else.
Completely
100%, yeah.
agree.
Yeah.
So let's like get out of the way what the premise of the
Yeah.
Obi-Wan show has turned out to be. So, okay, you can look this up on the internet. I have been on many a broadcast, probably some at Screen Junkies, probably some in the old Collider days, anywhere where I've talked about Star Wars. I have been adamant that I don't care about seeing Luke as a child. I've had no interest in seeing Luke be a little boy. I'm like, cool, he was a little farmer boy. Let's not make this about Luke. I don't want to see Luke. Never in a million years did it cross my mind that we would see a young Leia.
Right, well, because it does feel like Luke and Leia's childhood. We kind of know
Right.
enough of the parameters that it's like it wasn't that exciting. She grew up with this rich family on
Yeah.
Alderaan.
Yeah.
He was on a moisture farm and occasionally would go pick up power converters. That's it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's not a thing you expected you were ever going to really delve into.
Yeah.
And I mean, obviously, we all love extended sequences of Ben Kenobi slicing meat.
Yes.
I love a meat slice.
Do you think this was more of a beef type meat or
I
a
was trying to
fish?
figure
I
that
was
out.
trying to figure out if it was beef or salmon.
At first, it had the
Yeah.
exact same. It started off,
Okay.
and I was like, salmon. This is definitely like a salmon type creature. But then by the end, it's like, no, he's slicing it in a way like you would like a side of beef.
Have we ever seen a fish on Tatooine?
I I don't know. And
excellent
so
point.
it did when he started making his thing, it was like, oh, that's a Dinty Moore stew.
Yeah.
Like that's a like, look, you got yourself a bone. You got a stew.
You got a stew going.
You got a stew going. Like that's definitely once I saw that I was like, oh, that's beef. Like you got a stew going.
I do like a lot of these Disney Plus shows are giving us a little taste of like day-to-day life in the Star Wars universe that we haven't had before. Like Boba Fett had that sequence of like, here's what commercial air travel is.
Yeah.
And then this one is like, some people in Tatooine have a commute. You know?
Yeah.
Like you
No,
gotta get
I
on
love
You take the little bus, and then you get on the little train, and then you got to get on your bike.
Which is way better than being like, hey, I live in the desert, and then I go to a juke joint, and then nothing.
Yeah.
This is like way better than that, because this is, and I've said this before, I always prefer when we get to actually look. Apparently, all roads lead to Tatooine.
It's the only planet in Star Wars.
Tatooine is the Williamsburg
Yeah.
of the planet, where it's like, well, no, I mean that's where everyone goes in the universe,
Right.
But so getting to see that thing where it's like, oh, there's like a meat thing,
Right?
It's not just milk farming, and getting to see like the towns, and I agree, like I like that we're doing. And I've also said like I'm not super in. To Jedi, like I mean, I love it obviously.
No,
but, like,
I'm with you though, Danielle.
Jedi is great. I love the Jedi, but also But obviously, if you're watching Kenobi, you're 100% like, well, we know that Jedi is gonna happen,
Right. Well, this is my thing. Is as far as Star Wars goes, I've always kind of preferred the stories about the rebellion and about the stuff happening in the Outer Rim. And so like Mandalorian is the show for me.
Right.
But at the same time, so I was 13 when The Phantom Menace came out, and I was deeply in love with Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan Kenobi, and he is a real standout in this show. Like you can just you can feel, even though he's playing this incredibly like downtrodden and sorrowful character, and you can really feel that sorrow like happening throughout the galaxy. You can also tell how much fun he's having.
Yes, but he carries the weight of that, like, yo, we tried to save the world, and we sucked, and it didn't happen. And like, Order 66, pew, 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 and like, younglings and all that stuff. Like, you can feel the weight of all of that on all of his shoulders. And I think you would feel that even if it wasn't like the Anakin of it all.
Right.
Like, I think that you would still feel that weight of him as a failed Jedi. But when you add in the like, oh, also, I guess I like trained the dude that did.
No, absolutely. Well, and
failed.
that's the thing, is that like, again, until the end of episode 2, Obi-Wan does not know that Anakin is alive.
Yeah.
So it really is just him feeling the failure of the Order of the Jedi Knights as a whole.
Yeah, I think one thing we've seen, I think what these Disney Plus shows can do very well is it's almost like simpler stories work better.
Yes.
Like I feel like a lot of the time they're trying so hard, and they're really trying to expand or mess with the format, or like change your expectations for what a TV show can be. And sometimes it works. Like I think Loki is a good show, whatever. But I feel like with this one and with Mando season 1, it's just like you're not setting the bar so high. You're giving us a character we like in a relatively roughly familiar scenario. It's an adventure story. It's got these clear themes and ideas of like, what would it feel like if you were this Jedi and this hero, and then you'd failed and you'd spent 10 years just living in your failure. And it's immediate, and it's easy to access and understand where these characters are at, and it works so well. Whereas I think something like Boba Fett they were trying to do all this stuff, and it was very elaborate. It was like, why does Boba Fett want to be a crime lord, and what's going on with these flashbacks? And I think that it got away from them a little bit, and the storytelling here is so clean and so linear and so straightforward. You just can't, you kind of can't help but get pulled in, I think.
Yeah,
I agree 100%, because it is one of those. I keep saying 100%. I haven't. I need more coffee. But it is 100%. Where it is one of those things where it's like, I think I liked Boba Fett more than a lot of people.
Sure,
definitely me.
Taking this journey with Obi-Wan, where he's like, don't call me by my slave name. My name is Ben now. I shouldn't say that, but I did. And so we live with that forever.
Yep.
But it was one of those things where it's like, if you're young enough where you don't know what it feels like to absolutely 100% fail at what you've always wanted to do for all of your life, and then have to like pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and do it again.
Yeah.
Like, maybe that's not a thing that you can relate to.
And also, like, digging into deep canon with Obi-Wan.
Yes.
He is a character who, so in the book Master and Apprentice, they really get into the kind of difficult relationship that Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon, his master, had, because Qui-Gon was such a rebel Jedi. Like, Qui-Gon was like, whatever, like, I don't agree with everything the Jedi got going on. I'm kind of do my own thing. I'm Qui-Gon Jinn. And Obi-Wan was such a, like, by the books kind of guy.
Yes.
And basically, in the end, everything that Obi-Wan was trying to uphold and believe in. Also, I think the Jedi really misinterpreted the meaning of the word balance. Because I was thinking about that when they were showing that montage at the beginning, which I jokingly called Last Time on Obi-Wan.
Previously in Star Wars.
I mean, I watched all three films and I was like, why did I do that? They literally just did it all for me. And some of those shots were new shots, right?
I don't. If they were truly brave, they would have just randomly mixed in some animated Clone Wars footage. We would have gotten the whole "I don't like sand" speech.
Yeah.
But you know,
I thought they were gonna start clipping in some Clone Wars.
I really
because they
kinda
had
did
that
too.
like these are the Clone Wars episodes you should
Yes.
watch. So I was like, are we gonna get a little Mandalore in here? I do think we should talk about like something you'd sort of teased the sort of how we're going to work in all of the cartoons. And
Right,
how we're gonna
right,
work,
yes.
We're sort of already doing with the Grand Inquisitor stuff.
Though the Grand Inquisitor seems like is a different like he's not the Jason Isaacs Grand Inquisitor from Star Wars Rebels, because he kind of got killed.
He appears to have been
murdered. Yes.
Yeah. I have feelings. We'll talk about
I don't know enough about all the cartoons just to get the full ramifications.
Yeah, I mean, I mean,
but
it's just,
Filoni is very like, hey, I did it. Which there is, and I understand it. There is an entire rehabbing of the prequels happening right now.
Absolutely,
and, it's working on me.
Yeah.
It's working on me.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think we're in an era now where we're far enough past the prequels that we can just kind of go, well, that's what they were.
I think it's also we get so caught up in the moment of a movie is like all good or all garbage, and so it's like that idea that like, well, I didn't like how the prequels did X and Y, or I don't like how they look like this or whatever, and so the prequels are bad. And I think that with time, it allows us to, with a little bit more of a sense of balance, in an accurate way, not a Jedi way, where it's like, maybe these were not perfect movies.
No.
There are lines of dialogue that don't sound right. There are moments where it doesn't look maybe as great, whatever.
There are lines of dialogue in the
original
in these episodes of Obi-Wan that were like, well, it's not Shakespeare.
Exactly. It's always been Star Wars. It's always been a little bit flawed. It's always been a little bit campy, cheesy, a little bit goofy. And I think that if you once a little bit of time comes in and you can compartmentalize, there are obviously great things about the prequels that are worth celebrating.
Absolutely.
Even if there's things we don't like.
Can we talk a little bit about like the setting and the set pieces?
Sure.
Yeah.
First of all, the fact that people are like, Obi-Wan, you a stanky boy.
Oh, I know when oh my God, that scene where the Jawa shows up and is like, you should have bought some soap. I can smell you from far away.
He literally, like,
really sassing him.
I loved that Jawa.
But it's also like it puts us in the world because like it's Jedi are very like prissy and like live in that world. And so the fact that you're like stealing meat to make dinty stew, and walking around in all of which, I'm sorry, Tatooine. What do y'all find a tank top?
Yeah.
Find one tank top.
I've never seen a person dressed appropriately for the weather in Tatooine except for like slave girls.
He's also, he's in a cave, so it would make sense that he stinks. Like, he
Sure,
doesn't have,
yeah.
there's no running water in his.
Yeah.
Obi-Wan built this.
His decision to
in a
live
cave.
in a cave. Like, you could just live under an assumed name in, Mos Espa.
Right,
don't
you
have
could
to
just
live
in like a Star Wars apartment
It's
building.
almost in a weird way more suspicious to live in a cave.
Right?
Like, then you're like, is this guy hiding from someone? Whereas if you just lived in like a town, you'd be like,
'Cause
that's just that guy.
Yeah.
They have like buildings.
Yeah.
You could just
Yeah.
like probably rent an apartment on
That's what I'm
Tatooine.
saying.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it clashes a little.
Well, and it's interesting to see the clash too with the planet Alderaan, which we actually spend a decent amount of time on. And there is the heartbreaking thing of we know that this is all going to get destroyed, and the conversations that Leia has with her dad of like one day, like you will rule these people, and
they make Alderaan look, I think, the most beautiful and wonderful that I've ever seen it in any of the movies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Where it's like, man, this sucks. It's like this lush planet full of like these beautiful buildings, and it seems like people are getting along. And
Yeah, they're doing
a lot of them
they
are
always-
brown. They're really doing that thing where they're like, Alderaan might be the brown planet. It might be the planet of Latinx people. I'm sorry, I gotta say it.
yeah, that's fair.
Like, it does really seem like that when you go back and you look. It's like, oh, Alderaan is maybe also the planet of the minorities. I'm sorry. It
No,
is. That's not
absolutely.
I'm not like doing a subtle context thing. I think that's in the text of the show.
Yeah.
Where it's like, man.
Well, and also that, like, we establish right away that, Leia and Senator Bail Organa are these, they're very progressive. They're kind to droids.
Yes.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
right,
Like,
yeah. They're already hit for droid rights.
Yeah.
But they're
Give 'em
definitely
a sock.
They're definitely doing that, like, Star Wars is poetry, it rhymes thing.
Yes.
Where they're trying to, both of these episodes really drill in the idea of, like, Padme and Leia having this connection.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's her daughter. And so I think they're, like, Naboo had that same kind of vibe
Yes.
of, like,
Yes.
this liberal,
Yeah.
progressive society. And it's like, the buildings are sort of a mix of, like, Renaissance and historical,
Totally.
but futuristic.
Yes.
And it's this lush, natural green world. And I felt like that really got drilled in, and it was very well done. I thought that was very intentional.
And
then Obi-Wan, of course, has that line.
Yeah, and
where
I
he's
mean,
like, you remind me of someone.
Yes,
Put a-
and
put
I
the
mean,
bow on
obviously,
it.
like, you could have your feelings about young Sheldon, but young Leia.
Oh my
Aw,
God,
aw.
what a cute little girl. Suze Vera in chat asks, do you think that the Leia storyline will continue into the 3rd through 6th episodes? My inclination is yes,
Yeah.
because I think, again, we're doing a very simple lone wolf and cub story.
Yes.
And the thing is like, I know we kind of did that in Mandalorian, but Mandalorian didn't invent that story.
Yeah, it's
Lone-
Lone Wolf and
yeah,
Cub.
it's
it's
all-
Shane.
yeah.
It's Logan. Even.
It's Logan. Yes,
Exactly.
exactly.
Yes.
And if you've read comics, it's literally everything that Wolverine has ever done.
Uh-huh.
A lot of the old man blank stories become a variation on this
Yes.
because it's like, well, this old generation become
Right.
bitter, they become, pastel jaded,
Yes.
and then the young generation is what brings them back to that. That's as old
trope,
as storytelling gets. So.
Right. So that, and this is the thing. So I just had this sort of revelation when I was thinking about it. It almost makes it more relatable that when we meet Obi-Wan in Star Wars A New Hope, it makes more sense that he's like, cool, I'm willing to jump back in, because now we know he previously had this experience with Leia, which clearly by the end of it is going to kind of reinvigorate him, because I think that a lot of it is him sort of not necessarily overlooking Leia's importance, but he's so fixated on Luke that he's forgotten about the other one.
Yeah.
Yes, and also like it's a look. I know I had a moment where I was like, when the fuck do you? Sorry, when the crap?
That's it.
do you-
PG-13. That's our one.
No, it's our one. It's our one. Sorry. When the crap do you get old? Because it is.
Look, there's
but
two
it doesn't
suns.
matter.
You can go
There's
gray
no
very
sunscreen.
quickly. You can go gray very quickly.
It doesn't matter. Well, dude, it doesn't
They started
matter.
shooting Jackass Forever, and then they took like 8 months off
I
for
know.
COVID, and they came back, and Johnny Knoxville was totally gray, folks. It
Yeah.
happened.
Silver Fox.
Well, yeah, and so that was one of my things. Was like, I know this is going to be one of like the persistent criticisms.
Oh, there's
but,
already
like,
a viral tweet.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
how did
I-
this guy turn into this guy?
Dude,
Oh,
I like
God.
don't
People have been
care.
saying that for years.
I don't care. I mean, yes, it's one of those things where it's like, ha ha ha, funny, get your jokes off, obviously. We're all gonna get our jokes off.
Yeah.
But like, if you take it seriously and you're super cranky about it, that's okay.
Yeah.
But I don't care.
There is one, I saw a bunch of people talk about this. There is one sort of an odd, I don't think it doesn't break anything, but in The New Hope, when Leia sends her recorded message to Obi-Wan via R2-D2, that's sort of the instigating incident of the whole plot. She says, "You served with my father in the Clone War,"
which he says to her in
it
episode 2 here.
It is true.
Yeah.
It's a true piece of information.
He tells her, "I fought with your father."
But you would think that she would just say, "Remember me? I'm that little girl you rescued years ago."
Sure.
It's weird to introduce yourself to someone that clearly knows you. However, I read a pretty reasonable theory, which is she felt that somebody else might intercept or record that message and didn't want to put too fine a point on it.
I mean, you know, I am not the Ben Kenobi you know. Like, maybe at the end of the series, he's like, hey, like, you don't remember me because that's safer for her.
Wow, you think he's in a Men in Black flash?
I think he is. I think that's a possibility.
Well,
that was the thing that I thought when I was going through it. I was like, oh, no, he's totally going to be, and it's going to be sad. They're going to go through all of this stuff. He's going to grow and learn. And then he's gonna be like, "Oh no, you can't remember," like a Donna Noble from Doctor Who. So it's gonna break my heart.
I mean, that was. I feel
He
like
does.
that would be a new power as
Well,
far
no.
as Jedi go.
He can
What?
make you
What do you?
forget things
Well, no,
forever?
he already.
No, but I can make you like. You don't need to see. I can give you. I can plant
I was
a
like,
thought in
are
your head.
Jedi mind tricks that powerful?
No,
Like, I can be like, yeah, you don't mean the thing you're saying. And you go, I don't mean the thing I'm saying.
Wait,
But I
I'm
don't know if
sorry, I
can
don't
go-
mean that. He doesn't actually say that.
But I don't think
That's
I
not
can
going to
go-
be what I think when it comes
I don't
out.
know if I can go like this and go like, you don't remember who Emma is,
I
and it
kinda-
changes your brain forever.
I mean, if it's only a couple of weeks or like
Wow.
a week or two,
Yeah.
that was how I kind of took
mean-
it. And I think that if that is my theory, if that is what happens, I'm going to cry buckets for a week because I feel like she's going to wind up Donna Nobling where it's like, I went through all this stuff and I learned everything and I learned about my power. And he's going to be like, I'm sorry, you don't get to keep it.
I don't know if I like the idea that this is
I
going to
prefer that,
inform their relationship down the road. Like, I almost feel
I
like
agree. I prefer
what
that.
they're doing now is like seasoning it so that when you later like see them interact, because
Sure.
you know you'll be like, oh right, because they had this childhood experience.
Yeah.
I agree. I would prefer that, but I think they're going to break our hearts.
We'll see.
I'm more in the Lon territory, but also at this point, like, he's introduced himself to her as Ben.
Yeah.
Right.
And like Reva called him Obi-Wan, sort of in her vicinity.
Yeah.
And you know, she only has just accepted that he is actually a
Yeah,
Jedi
I mean, she
because he
knows
made her
he's
float.
a Jedi because
Yeah.
he
Yeah,
used
exactly.
his power.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's interesting. Suze Vera also, great questions in chat, asks, do you think we will see some dreams or flashbacks of live action versions of Clone Wars, maybe even some Rosario?
We're certainly, I think so. I haven't
did-
looked at cast list.
I don't know about Rosario.
I don't know about that.
They recommended a bunch of Clone Wars episodes that you should watch before you watch this.
Particularly the
I'll let you
Mandalorian, the episodes where they go to Mandalore
exactly.
with Duchess Satine, who, if you're not familiar with that character, is the love of Obi-Wan's life. And
yeah, like this regal, like the Queen of Mandalore.
She's
right.
the queen of
Let
Mandalore.
Jedi's bone.
It would be a
Let
great
Jedi's
role
bone.
for somebody, as I think what.
It would be a
it's
great
it's like an
role for
iconic Star
somebody.
Wars
Yeah.
role
Oh,
that
God.
we're waiting to cast.
And here is the thing is I really think that we will. And actually, the reason I really think we will is based on Star Wars Rebels. So in Star Wars Rebels, spoilers, that is where Darth Maul finally gets killed forever by Obi-Wan. And it is the most beautiful fight scene. It is right out of a samurai film. And like, oh God, Maul is ready for this big epic battle and Obi-Wan just gets him immediately and kills him. And he dies in Obi-Wan's arms and
Full on Kill Bill.
oh, it's so beautiful. And basically what it is Obi-Wan has completely moved past everything that Maul did, which did result in the death of Duchess Satine. So Obi-Wan has totally let it go at that point, and this Obi-Wan is definitely not there yet.
Right. No.
So I think we're going to have to get some.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and there's going to be multiple series. There's no way. This is amazing. Like, there's no way we do this in one.
Incredible. Yeah.
I mean, it's all dependent on Ewan and whether he's like...
He's already said that he wants to do another season.
He's in. Like, he likes doing this a lot. It really depends, I think, on, like the
also,
fan
Come
response.
on.
And
6 episodes. I could do 6 episodes for like 3 or 4 seasons for Disney money.
Yeah.
I definitely, I feel like that for sure, just because they already said, like, watch these episodes of Clone Wars, so you definitely know who Satine is. It feels like it'd be crazy to not do that. I don't know about Rosario. I feel like...
I mean, obviously, like, I would like to see an interaction between Obi-Wan and Ahsoka.
Because she's younger, so it wouldn't even be Rosario.
Right.
It would have to be like a young baby.
Yeah, older teen Ahsoka.
Zendaya or...
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, somebody along those lines for sure.
Oh. Yeah,
I think that's good.
Sure. She could
absolutely. She could totally pull it off.
Criminy. Okay.
Yeah. Let's talk real quick. Since we were talking about Jedi powers and mind tricks, about Kumail.
Oh yeah, we got to talk about Kumail.
What a delight! I loved that. You got who that character again. Like the storytelling in this is so clean.
Yeah.
I love that there's no mystery. It's very straightforward. And they just commit to getting right into the story.
I did like that he has a face turn. Like,
I liked that
the
too.
Character as he's kind of this con man, this sleaze. He's lying about being a Jedi, and you feel like it's a little bit one note. It's funny. Kumail's good.
He's great. Yeah.
But then when they bring him back at the end, and he actually becomes sort of an ally, almost like a character that I feel like you could bring back in a future episode or in another season. Like an Amy Sedaris kind of presence in this world. I really like that, and I feel like now we're gathering some side characters and
it's fun.
Some allies to work with. It's fun.
It very much felt like world building. Also, thank you for saying face turn.
We use the wrestling terms.
We use the wrestling terms. Yeah.
Listen.
But
you can't break kayfabe.
I can't break kayfabe. But that was 100% how I felt. Also, because every planet seems to have its own deal.
Sure.
This planet is like, we do casinos, and this planet is like...
Oh, yeah, what is Daigo's deal? It seems to just be crime.
We're the Apocalypse planet from Loki, remember?
The one
similar
where
alien neon, and there's lots of crime.
Now I'm like, is it just the same set?
It looks a lot like the alien about to apocalypse world from Loki, where they're trying to get on the rocket, and then they don't. And I was saying to Emma,
in this, they're trying to get on a cargo ship.
I was saying to Emma, too, I secretly think a lot of these Disney shows, they're like, could this town look 15% more like something we could replicate in Anaheim? Like, could we...
What can we do in Atlanta?
Like, could Toontown Plaza become this place?
Yeah.
Yes.
And, like, some of the production design, I think, does evoke that. Like,
Talk to Tyler Perry.
Everything's a little bit theme parkish in the Star Wars universe.
But also, I would desperately like to know where the planet is where they do cornrows.
Like Reva has.
Cornrow World,
And if there is a cornrow world, can someone send me to it? Because I need some straight backs under my...
We know Boston has its own.
That's true.
And
Boston has
to
a
say
planet.
that Atlanta doesn't also
and
have
apparently
its own
a bunch of like rough Southern dudes in Tatooine. Hey, like there was a lot of like rough Southern, like hickey accents. It's like, there's a bunch of different planets. Point me to the cornrow planet. I'm gonna rock it tomorrow.
Okay, where do we think we might be going with the third sister, Reva? Because it's very clear that she is into the Sithy kind of ways, but she's not really
obsessed with Darth Vader.
She's obsessed with Darth Vader,
which we've seen
before.
Yeah, like, she's got a little hint of Kylo Renism.
Yeah.
I mean, my writer brain is always like, well, there's a tragic backstory, and she sees like this person as like someone to look up to while she's like going through the ranks, because like at this point it's still like clone, right? Like there's some like slaves, like I think at this point like Finn has like also, and there's like numbers and stuff. But I do wonder if this is one of those things where it's like I'm emulating someone to try to get through the ranks.
Do you this is a wild theory.
Give it to me.
Okay. So interestingly enough, and maybe in poor taste, both Stranger Things season 4 episode 1 and Obi-Wan open with a scene of children in peril.
Yes.
And which is tough.
Not good, bad timing.
Obi-Wan not quite as egregious as Stranger Things. And so I wonder though, because we know obviously in Revenge of the Sith there is a scene where Anakin is involved in the killing of young Jedi.
Yes.
I sort of
younglings.
Yes.
So we can separate them.
Yes, younglings. And so I do wonder a little bit if maybe this was a little girl that like saw that happen.
Well, so I watched shows with the captions on, and they were very clear about like what I think the person that was like, we gotta go. I think they named them like young woman or something like that because I watch a lot of captions.
Sure.
And so that was my thought as well.
I was trying to figure out who the Jedi Master was at the top. Was it like I was trying to figure out if it was supposed to be Depa Billaba, but they never really got like close enough.
I don't know enough.
You're way too smart.
Okay,
Yeah,
well,
like,
anyway,
and
then of course, my deep lore brain is like, okay, is Caleb Dune around, who grows up to be Kanan Jarrus? And anyway,
I was also like Cal Kestis. Like,
I was that's the only one I know to look for. I was like, where's the Fallen Order guy? Redhead.
But they were all wearing
scanning
helmets.
the background for a redhead.
And they did this very smart. They're all wearing helmets. You see them from the back.
It could be anybody.
It could be anyone.
I definitely agree with your theory that one of the children in that scene is third sister. Like, and so they're gonna, because otherwise there was no reason for us to see that scene. I mean, obviously Order 66. An important moment.
It is an important moment.
Character-wise, we don't know who was there that we were following. I believe that's going to be the answer. The idea she might be like a double agent or something is really interesting. I hadn't even thought of that.
Well, because like Order 66 is the Batman pearls. Like, we've seen it. We know it.
Yeah.
Well, it is the thing where it's like, are they going to go to the movies? But then are they going to go see a thing? Are there going to be pearls? That's how I feel about Order 66.
Also thinking about the conversation she has with Obi-Wan, because Lana and I were talking about this, that there's always a lot of chit-chat during lightsaber battles lately. It seems like
there's always a lot of plot stuff going on.
Right.
You know,
talking about wrestling.
They got ground to cover.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true.
Like that,
But Reva does say to Obi-Wan during that interaction that she's not going to kill him.
Right. Well, she's gonna take him back to
Vader.
Right.
Yes.
It's Vader. Essentially, she's trying, as far as we know, in some way she wants to curry favor with Darth Vader. She wants to impress him. She wants to get close to him.
I'm hoping it's not one of those.
That's what Grand Inquisitor is accusing her of. It's like your ambition, like she's trying to move up the ranks or whatever. Yeah. And they're playing it kind of like Krennic in Rogue One, where it's just like that imperial ambition and like it's hustle culture times 100 in the Empire.
Yeah. Look. You'll sleep when you're dead.
Right.
Yeah.
And like
sleep, don't eat.
And they really have they have kind of baked in that we work, like they're all really into being in the Empire. And so I feel like it could be that, but it does feel like there might be one more level to it. I think
I'm hoping it's not one of those like random things where it's like, oh my God, I like love this dude. And granted, like, look, Hayden Christensen. But it's also like, please don't reduce her to being like, I'm in love with you.
No, I don't think. I really don't think that they will. No, I think it's going to be much more sophisticated, interesting storytelling than that.
Yeah. Even Kylo Ren, they found interesting shades of that. Where he's like a fanboy, and it's like almost a commentary on that of like he's he stands the Emperor in an unhealthy way.
Yes.
Yeah, totally. Yes, SOS Sama in chat points out that canonically Cal was on a ship when Order 66 was executed.
No, I remember because he was like doing training.
Yeah.
And then like
oh my God, I just remembered how much I love Cal Kestis' master.
So he was doing training with a bunch of the clones and they were like, oh, here you go, blah, 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 blah. And then in the middle of the training, they just start murking everyone. And Cal's like, I'm a child, I don't know what to do. And his master's like, run, lightsaber up.
Get out.
Anyway, it was
the controls of this game you're about to play.
It was actually really like.
Circle jump.
I'm not
Crouch.
gonna lie. Like, aside from the cartoon ones, that one really got me because it was really, you saw like how the camaraderie they had. And then all of a sudden, blank face. Murder a child.
Yeah, well,
I know.
Clones, man.
It really clones, man.
I feel bad for the clones. They didn't want to do what
one
they
homeless
did.
Clone, yeah.
That one.
Tamora Morrison as Panhandler.
There are a lot of clones, okay? They're
So
all
many
over the
clones.
place. And they're all voiced by D. Bradley Baker. Literally every single one. Zeno Hour asks, Reva killing the Grand Inquisitor in episode 2, yay or nay? Are you asking, do we think the Grand Inquisitor is actually dead? And like
I
the
think
Grand
they're asking if we like it.
Oh, I mean, I feel neutral about it. I was kind of like, oh, interesting. You know what I mean? Because like,
Yeah.
again, I am familiar with this character from Star Wars Rebels.
Yes.
So in my mind, I was like, oh, this is the exact same guy and it's just going to continue through. But
Yes.
maybe it's a different guy.
I think we
don't
got to
know.
presume he gets replaced at some point.
Yeah,
yeah.
Because he definitely seems to be dead here.
Exactly.
I mean, it
Or
definitely
maybe he
seemed,
comes back. Like, we don't know. It's Star Wars. No
It
one's
definitely
dead
seemed-
until they're,
Yeah.
like, buried.
I think they were already kind of indicating through the storytelling cues that she was the primary nemesis as opposed to him.
Yeah.
So it was just a matter of how he was going to be sort of sidelined. You know,
Yes.
it was a little
Yeah.
bit of like that Werner Herzog Mandalorian. Like, it's cool that we get to see Werner Herzog, but it's
Sure.
obvious he's not
Or
the main
main baddie.
He's going to
Yeah.
step aside, and we're going to find out who the real villain
You know,
is.
and
John
Antonio
Carlo
Banderas,
Esposito.
and Antonio Banderas in a Red Notice, where it's like,
It's
Sure.
100% Antonio
Right.
Banderas in an Uncharted.
I
where
have
it's
to,
like-
or an Uncharted, I have to bring up a Red Notice.
But it is a
just
red
happens.
notice. It just happens to be the film Uncharted.
Uncharted.
But
Yes,
a
it
noted
is
red
a
notice.
red notice.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, I'm kind of whatever about it. I like
the
way
moment.
I
the
like the
scene
moment.
was
I
good.
like
think
the
it's a
way
great
the
moment.
Inquisitors are worked into this
Mhm.
too, in that you like they are this very looming, obvious presence.
Yes, and I like Moses Ingram, I think is the actress's
Yes.
name. I thought she's doing a good job because she's like mean, but it's not
Yeah.
like deliciously evil. She's not.
Yeah, she's kind of
No,
just mean.
She's not playing
Yeah.
it like she's just like a jerk.
Yeah.
She's not playing it like Dooku or like one of these characters.
No.
that's
She's not like
like
reveling in her
Yeah.
villainy. She's just like,
Yeah.
I have a job to do when you are in my way.
It's just
Yeah.
like, just like, come on, we gotta
Can
go.
you just, like,
I don't
be
have time for
dead?
this crap. Yeah,
Just like be dead.
yeah.
Yeah.
I
I have
like,
to go
I
back
like that
to the
vibe.
cornrow planet.
She's got to get back to Planet Detroit. It's she's got. I like to find a different shade to a thing we've seen a bunch of times, which is like I'm a cool new badass character
Yeah.
with a red lightsaber that you've just met.
Exactly.
Yes.
One of those cool Inquisitor lightsabers.
Right.
Oh. Also, again, they must have great air conditioning on the ships.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was imagine one of those like from Visions, one of those umbrella
Oh.
spinning
Yeah.
lightsabers
Well,
like in
the
Shadow.
Inquisitor lightsabers can spin,
Right.
because you see in the finale, the like 2-part finale of Star Wars Rebels, I think it was season 2, the seventh sister and the eighth brother use them like helicopters.
Well, that's also how they kill Flea.
Yes.
Spoilers.
Oh, Flea.
No. So I had this moment in the first episode.
so wild.
Flea dies by spitting lightsaber.
tweeted by
Yeah.
it.
Poor Flea.
I tweeted it, and I was like, Flea is like the white Tyler Perry, where he just shows up and stuff.
Yeah.
And you don't expect him to be here, and you're like, oh,
And you're always happy to
That's
see him.
Flea.
It's,
You're always
it's the
happy to
same.
see
It's
him.
like, oh, look, Flea's here.
it's
Yeah.
Flea. And so I'm sitting there watching it, and he's not credited in the first episode, or maybe he is by his real name. Why would I know
No, he
that?
is. Yeah. No, because I
Flea, yeah.
remember being like, "That's Flea," and then his name came up on
Yeah,
the screen.
just
Oh
like
no,
literally
I mean,
Star
in
Wars
on
IMDb.
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 Sorry, not there.
Yeah, because they do it in the Star Wars Fandom, where it's just like,
Yeah,
Flea.
Flea.
I
Great.
was like, man, Flea and Henry Rollins
Yeah.
Yeah.
and Tyler Perry, you just show up in stuff I like.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Where's Henry Rollins?
I
Star
love
Wars
that.
role?
And
fine.
it's Brian Jones asks, this is very relevant to what we're talking about. Now that Flea has been in Star Wars, what other rock star should cameo?
Wow, great question.
That is a great question.
Great.
That's a really good question.
Hmm.
Well, I've already said Rollins, so we have to cut him out.
Yeah.
No Henry Rollins.
Yeah. When is Sir Paul McCartney going to show up as just like a random senator?
I mean,
or
they
something?
look. Him and Ringo got to do it before.
Pirates,
Yes.
are like, Pirates does the like Keith Richards, like the
Yeah,
old
yeah,
British
yeah.
guys. They're-
Look,
yeah.
we gotta have. There was a moment where those guys in Backstreet, not Backstreet, the other ones,
In
NSYNC?
NSYNC, were going to be in a battle scene, and it was cut because it wound up getting leaked. I wonder.
Let's
if
get a
it's-
Lance Bass.
It's gonna be
You know?
well, I'm wondering if it's gonna be one of those things with like all of these like aging British rock
I'm
stars to
I'm
like
surprised.
get them.
You know
into
what
it.
band to me has the vibe of Star Wars music? It's like Smash Mouth.
yeah.
Like that's That's like what American band plays the kind of music you'd expect to hear if you just walked into like a bar in the Star Wars universe.
I can't look on my phone right now, but I would say her name is Kashimi, or
Flaming Lips.
Flaming Lips would be great. Flaming Lips would be good.
I think
they might be
outer
giants.
space kind of. Sure.
Oh, they might be giants. I think
Quirky, like what
so
our Earth band could play jizz.
Sure. Husty21 in chat has a very good suggestion, which is Sting, who of course played Fade Rautha in Dune.
So he is
in the David Lynch
familiar with spice already.
Like, oh my God, the spice scene. And when Obi-Wan like used the spice and blew it up in the face, I did that in a Star Wars tabletop role-playing game, and I was like, dang, let's go.
Stealing your moves.
Yep.
And he can still wear the thong.
Yeah, exactly. So Ewan McGregor, thanks so much for watching Pencils and Parsecs. You're the best, or whoever probably wrote this. It wasn't Ewan McGregor. Also, probably nobody watched that. But moving on, that is going to wrap up our discussion on Obi-Wan for today. I liked it. I'm really happy with where it's going.
Yeah, I think it's really great. Yeah. Are we doing the trailers, or are we waiting for them?
We're going to wait. We're going to look at them in just a moment. But before we move on to that, I would like to take a moment to draw your attention to the fact that Fandom has a Twitch channel. It is twitch.tv/Fandom. We just had our relaunch event earlier this week on Wednesday. We had a fabulous Mario Kart tournament featuring wonderful guests, including Robbie Daymond, who was the voice of Eighth Brother in Star Wars Rebels, and also Yoshi Sudarso, former Power Ranger, Maude Garrett, who you know and love, and Em Montgomery, who is the fabulous Twitch streamer Nega Oryx. Danielle was here, Bailey was here, I was here. We had an absolute blast. So that VOD is up if you didn't get a chance to join us live. Thank you to everybody that did join us live. Head on over to twitch.tv/Fandom and give us a follow. Next week, we are going to be debuting our first Honest Game stream. It's kind of like Honest Trailer Commentaries, except that the mysterious writer of Honest Game Trailers is going to be playing games while you are there to help shape future Honest Game trailers. So that will be on Wednesday, June 1st next week. Time TBD. So just make sure you follow the Twitch channel because we'll put it all up there. And then on Thursday, Bailey and I will be back here in the studio with Andy Campbell playing the Evil Dead game. So if you have the Evil Dead game, we would love for you to come play with us because Andy is going to be teaching Bailey and I to play the Kandarian Demon. So we are looking for people to kill in the game.
Andy Campbell.
Interesting. Yes, and we will start posting in the community tab to keep you all updated on streams and VODs. So and we'll still also be live here every Tuesday, Wednesday with junkets and other shows. Like we're back in the studio. We are getting back in action, and we're just real glad to have y'all here.
Us and the Looney Tunes. Back in action.
And the Looney Tunes. Back in action. Moving on, as mentioned, these Obi-Wan episodes premiered last night at Star Wars Celebration, which is currently happening. There was a big Lucasfilm showcase yesterday where several trailers for upcoming projects were dropped. At the top of our list today is the Andor trailer. Okay, here's the thing. Andor is going to be a 24-episode series?
That is wild.
Yeah, wow.
That's
a lot of Andor.
Wild for Disney+.
Well, I will say this. That's a lot for Andor.
Yes.
Not a character that I think people were necessarily like as enthused about as maybe like an Obi-Wan. But I think it's a really interesting period in the timeline that we have not explored as much as some of these others. So I feel like they're giving themselves that kind of leeway. In the same way that Mandalorian season 1 was like, let's lay a foundation for this period in time, and then we can clothesline it and hang a lot of stories off of this. I think that's probably, we're getting early rebellion in live action, and then they'll probably clothesline a bunch of other stuff off of it.
And I really liked Rogue One.
I did too.
I really liked Rogue One.
On Rogue One. I like Rogue One.
Yeah.
Because I like when these big franchises take a swing at doing something that combines genres. So I really liked Rogue One. And look, even if you don't like it, you've liked the last 10 minutes.
The space battle was the dogfight on the beach was amazing.
I like
Darth Vader sequences.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's a really cool movie. I just think it's a cool take on a stuff, like the Dirty Dozen war movie.
Yeah.
Sure.
We got to get a team together for this mission kind of vibe. I really like, obviously, the Donnie Yen stuff is great.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
But I just think it's a cool moment. In the history of the rebellion, and that we only got to see in sort of glimpses later on, and to see Mon Mothma and the early formation of all of it.
Mon Mothma got a fashion upgrade.
That's what I mean. Like, that stuff is just catnip, and it's like, even if you don't care about Cassian Andor, the guy, there's going to be world is going to be fun to.
Yeah, I think for me again, it's like I really like all the rebellion stuff, and I think that's why I gravitate so much towards Star Wars Rebels, the animated series, is because I thought they did a really nice job of balancing here we have 2 secretly surviving Jedi, but mostly it was really about the rebellion. And then they just like trickled in really good Jedi stuff. So I don't know. Yeah, I think
I am also such a huge fan, and I've talked about this before. Obviously, I really like Kenobi, but one of the best parts about like Mandalorian and other things, we all love a Skywalker, we all love a lightsaber. There's like a bajillion planets in this universe and a bajillion stories. I would like to see what other people are doing. And I'm not saying that I need to see everyone who works as a barista on Tatooine, but like I would.
Actually, I'd rather not see Tatooine again.
Yeah, I'm really fully done with Tatooine. But like I am very interested in the idea of watching stories that aren't, I mean, obviously they're going to have like a little peppering of Jedi.
Right.
But like these stories, again, it's a galaxy far, far away. Let's see the galaxy. And not everyone read the expanded universe, and not all of that's canon anymore. Let's see the galaxy. Let's develop it. That is one thing I am 100% most excited about.
Yeah.
With this.
And that's the thing, is it seems very clear to me in Andor that we're going to be covering a lot of ground. According to Eric Goldman, our managing editor here at Fandom, who is currently at Star Wars Celebration, apparently they have shot 12 episodes of the Andor series with 12 to go.
So many
he says, I bet anything they air them as 6, 6, 6, and 6.
That's totally what it is.
Though they didn't actually say that. The first 2 episodes will be premiering on August 31st, 2022. They had said late summer, so they said late summer and they meant it.
Makes sense.
Yep. On the non-Star Wars side of things,
there's a non-Star Wars side
other
of
stuff
things?
besides Star Wars,
doesn't make sense.
and
dare
it
you.
even has Harrison Ford in it. This was
my
the
God.
funniest thing when Harrison Ford showed up, and I was seeing tweets about it. Everyone's like, Harrison Ford has arrived to Star Wars Celebration, and so many people were like, does he know?
So I'm sure he was thrilled, absolutely thrilled to be there.
Clearly, yes.
Loves talking about
Harrison
Star
Ford
Wars,
loves Star
Indiana
Wars.
Jones.
Yes, but no, they were, of course, there to talk about Indiana Jones, which is going to be released on June 30th, 2023 in the U.S., so that is next year. Well, I mean, James Mangold's directing it.
James Mangold's directing
And
it.
I do like James Mangold.
Sure.
That's
And
true.
we got one image of him, and he's on a bridge, and he's looking out where he's going with a little flashlight thing. And
Yeah.
look, I love Indiana Jones. I love that whole world. I have always felt like you can. To me, Last Crusade proves that you could bring in other characters
Absolutely.
to join Indiana Jones, and it is still just as good. It doesn't have to just be centered on him. You even had Marion in the first movie. Like,
I know.
We did Short Round in the second movie. Like, it works. So
Yeah.
I don't think the idea of an older Indiana Jones, you pair him with somebody else, I think you could totally still pull this off. I
Speaking
just
of-
think it didn't happen to work the last time.
Speaking of Short Round. Come on.
Oh my God, his Twitter.
We need him to we need Ke Huy Quan to be in this movie.
Literally follow his Twitter. He is so amazing and so charming. So funny on Twitter.
Yeah.
Like, go follow him on Twitter.
And if you have not seen Everything Everywhere All at Once,
It's nice to have
No
him back.
spoils.
I'm glad that he's back.
It's
Yeah.
nice. It is very nice to have him back.
yeah, I mean, like, Oscar-worthy performance.
So I mean, I feel like that's a big knock on Indy 4 was like the idea of Mutt Williams and Shia LaBeouf coming in like ruins it. I don't think that's true.
No, I don't think that's
I
true
think it
either.
Could work. I just think that take on it was not my
was
favorite.
not right. Yeah, because I mean, you know, like they brought Sean Connery in, and
Right, and it works
great.
great.
And it was great. Yeah.
Hey, look, anything can work if the writing works.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's if the writing and the directing works, you can make anything work.
Yep.
It just didn't work
Mhm.
altogether.
Well,
So
let's
I'm
talk about
still hopeful for
the evolution of another beloved, not even a franchise, really. It's kind of just one movie coming back. We got the first trailer for the Willow series.
Hey.
Lon, I know that you were very excited to talk about this.
I'm a big Willow fan. I loved Willow as a kid. It came out in '88. I was 10 years old, so I was like the perfect age for it when it was new. And I always loved it as a kid. I really had kind of not thought about it in a long time. And then a few years ago, I went to a screening that Ron Howard it was where Ron Howard did a Q&A after the screening where he announced this show.
Yeah.
And rewatching it on a big screen, it was like, oh, wait, this is really terrific. I mean, the movie is sort of remembered now as it was one of the very first industrial light and magic projects. Yeah. So they created a lot of new effects technology that went on to become like morphing effects when she turns everybody into pigs or what have you. And so it's great in a, visual, like it's a cool landmark in visual design and effects or whatever, but it's also just a good, fun story, and it's funny, and the characters and the performances are really good.
Yeah, it's a nice universe that I think you can very simply tell another story in.
And it's different. It's different enough from all the other big fantasy universes that there's so much to explore because it's just one movie. There's not like, I mean, I guess there were probably some books. I think.
I'm guessing there are books or comics.
But there's not this like wealth of canon and everything has to be like, where in the Willow canon does this fit in? It's like they have all this freedom to sort of be like, what's the world of Willow like 30, 40 years later?
Yeah, and they've got this young, diverse cast.
But bringing back Warwick Davis.
I know,
and Joanne Whalley.
Joanne Whalley. Yeah, I was gonna say Saoirse. Oh my God, I loved her so much when I was a kid. And I think that was kind of the thing for me. It was like I was getting these big feels about little baby Leia because like Leia was such a cool character when I was a kid, and when Obi-Wan comes to rescue her and she like attacks him like she's ready to break out and she tries to get her little droid to set her free, I was like, yes, that's my girl. And then Saoirse was like she's very much one of the heroes in Willow. Like,
I don't know if you guys have seen that Val Kilmer documentary that came out last year on Amazon. It's fantastic. But a lot of that footage that he shot is him and her, like they fell in love.
Yeah.
She was Joanne Whalley Kilmer for a while. And so it is a great sort of behind the scenes, and that makes it a little extra touching too, just to see the real people behind these characters and how long ago it was.
Yep, and it looks like some ladies might be smooching, and I'm with it.
Does look like
I love a lady smooch.
Aaron Kellyman, who was in
Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Yeah,
Carly. I forget. The last name.
and she was also in the Han Solo movie. That's the one.
She's
Enfys Nest. Yeah.
How did I get the Star Wars name before you?
I don't know. I was crazy. Like, my brain is just
I
don't know.
That's one of those ones where it's like that might be an Emma hole.
Oh, she was also in Green Knight.
Yes, that's right.
That's true.
It was great. So interesting. This is just a weird little transition I'm going to do here. So, as I mentioned, Green Knight. So a man by the name of Barry Gower was the prosthetics lead for a lot of the stuff in Green Knight, and he also worked on Vecna in this season of Stranger Things. And there's also a Star Wars show that looks like or sounds like it's gonna kind of be a Stranger Things. John Watts and Chris Ford have a series coming out that'll be called Star Wars Skeleton Crew, also produced by Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni. In it, Jude Law is starring along with 4 kids who are lost in the Star Wars universe.
Okay.
Apparently it stars 4 kids, but is not a kids show. So I guess that's kind of Stranger Things. It's like it stars children, but it's not necessarily for children.
Yeah, I guess I'm the wording is weird. Instead of being like 4 kids who are lost, because we already assume they're in the Star Wars universe. When you say 4 kids who are lost in the Star Wars universe, that's where I'm like,
yeah. So this is I'm like, portal? is this like an isekai? You know what I mean? So an isekai, if you don't watch anime, isekai is like any time where it's, hi, I'm human person that lives in this real world, and now I'm trapped in this video game.
I don't
in
think
this
they're kids
alternate dimension.
I don't think they're kids from our world.
Okay,
I hope not.
I really hope not.
My read on it was like they're like lost in space. Like they don't know how to get.
Search engine stuff.
back to
Yeah.
their...
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Say Star Wars in the premise, so when
Star-
you search it, it's
Right.
Star Wars
They have
premise,
to get
kids
back to
lost
their
in Star
planet.
Wars.
Like, oh, we're from this planet in this system, and they don't know how
Oh,
to get
so
back.
it's
That
Star
makes
Trek
sense.
Voyager.
Yeah. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, or there's that cartoon Star Trek series now, Prodigy.
Oh, yeah.
It reminded me of that.
Okay,
where it's like, oh,
all
they're gonna
right.
be kids, and they're gonna be, but
But
the
it's
other
not a
thing-
kid show.
It's not a kid show, and then the other thing is the Jude Law-ness of it. Also, like, well, what would his role be? I feel like there is a link to lore that we just don't know yet. Like,
Yeah.
one of these characters, either Jude Law or one of these kids, is somebody whose name we would recognize.
Right, yeah.
And they don't want to tell us yet, so they're being fun and coy about it. But then, like, later it'll be like, and then their friend Counselor Tarkin, and we'll be like, ah, you bastard.
Countess
know what's gonna
Druku
happen
or like
to
something
you.
like that.
Yeah.
For sure.
Um,
And just the fact that Jude Law also, like, if you were casting a guy who could play a younger version of an evil old Imperial,
Uh-huh.
Jude Law.
All right, so this is the other thing that we now know about Skeleton Crew for sure is that Favreau and Filoni have confirmed that it will be set in the same time period as Mandalorian, Book of Boba Fett, and Ahsoka. Skeleton Crew, maybe it takes place with Rangers of the Old Republic, which was originally announced back in December 2020, which somebody was going to be starring in, and well, you know,
Not happening.
not happening. Yes, they have not mentioned anything about any upcoming Star Wars films.
Well,
The
they
only
thought this morning was the Taika Waititi thing, right? Didn't they say
I
this
think
morning
maybe
that the first one is going to be
Taika-
Taika's movie?
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
believe-
Literally
exactly.
everything. Yeah.
I believe this morning the one bit of news I saw before we went live was that the first movie to come out, the next Star Wars movie to come out will be
Right.
the Taika Waititi one, whatever
Yes.
it may be.
Yes.
We don't know
And
yet.
also they did show, and this is very similar to how they did it in at Star Wars Celebration in 2019, which I was at, and I was at the Mandalorian panel there, where they did show footage from it, but they didn't air it on the live stream. So
Right.
nobody has seen it except the people who were in the room there. So yeah, there was a teaser for it. We know that Katie Sackhoff is coming back as Bo-Katan.
Hopefully,
and-
Sasha Banks.
Yes, and it is sounding like we are going to Mandalore, which is
Yeah.
highly exciting for me, somebody who's very obsessed with the sort of state of Mandalore within and post Clone Wars.
Also, there's like a whole bunch of stuff going on with Sasha Banks right now, so like I'm really
Heck
excited
yeah.
if she gets this. I will not do this on camera because no one will care, and I could talk about this for 5 minutes.
I feel like the Mandalorian segments that we saw within Book of Boba Fett were very clearly laying the groundwork for it.
That's exactly.
Season 3 of Mandalorian. It's no longer about we got to get Grogu to someone.
Yeah.
It's now going to be about he's got to go regain his status in the world of Mandalorian.
Yes.
By going to Mandalore.
Yeah.
That's
If you
Chekhov's
like
Mandalore.
wrestling, you can hear me yell about the Sasha Banks stuff like a couple of episodes ago. Oh, I think she's credited in this as Mercedes Bernardo.
Yes, that's great.
But yes, you can hear me yell about it like last week's episode of Tights and Fights. It's a long story, but yes, I hope that she's in this a lot for a lot of reasons.
Yeah, she was. I really enjoyed her in Mandalorian. I thought she was great. I liked Bo-Katan's little crew.
Me too. And so I always kind of assumed that like they just came out with a figure of her, which looks amazing.
Yeah.
I gotta have to stop talking because now I'm just gonna talk about wrestling.
Look, when there's a toy, there's a good chance that the character's going to show up more. Also, when are we getting toys of baby Leia?
Yo,
They couldn't put him out in advance. because it's
Exactly, it'd be a spoiler, but there'll be
Like,
there'll
the
be baby
Funko
Leia
Pop
action
is
figures.
in production
look
right now.
for the babies in your life. There's probably gonna be like a little hoodie with a bun, and I need it. I need it for the babies in your life.
So Evan J. Pretzer says, hey, popping in outside of the HTC show here to ask, does everyone think we'll see Dexter, meaning Dexter Jetster, or no? I personally hope we see Dexter Jetster.
I love a diner.
What?
I love a diner.
I feel like the character obviously very beloved. Would want to bring the fan favorite.
Yep.
Dexter.
Bringing
it's
plus
expensive.
size representation to
It's
Star Wars, which is
an
very
entirely
important.
computer generated guy is a cost factor. So I
It
don't. We already got an
is.
entirely CG raptor with a gun in this episode.
Can I ask
so-
something really quickly before we sign up?
Uh-huh.
The diner.
Dex's Diner.
What do you order?
Ooh.
Not Jawa juice.
No.
That's disgusting.
Wow.
That's
Also-
an example of like George Lucas like coming up with like a joke, like a one-off little like background thing that adds very uncomfortable ramifications for the entire universe.
Yes.
You know, whatever the equivalent of a Star Wars
Grand Slam?
I was gonna say like a bacon, grilled cheese, and curly fries, like whatever that is in Star Wars. I would have to go to Wikipedia to find that out.
There you go.
So if y'all
Let's
want to go to starwars.fandom.com.
Product placement.
I love our Wikipedia community. They are so awesome.
They would have the answer. They got the full Dex's Diner menu,
I'm sure they do. They are on top of all of that.
Put it in the comments and tell us like what do you order
There's
if you go to
Dex's
Dex's
on the
Diner.
board. There's probably at least 3 or 4 items that we could.
I imagine it's like Bob's Burgers where it's very
Oh my god!
punny.
And there's like and there's a board where it's like the burger of the day.
Yeah,
Yes.
it definitely is, yeah.
I love it. Anyway, you can catch us all at Dex's Diner after this show,
Heck yeah.
and if only in our hearts. So we are going to wrap up this spoiler-filled Obi-Wan Star Wars-tastic episode of SJU here on Fandom Entertainment. Lon, thank you so much for being here.
My pleasure. How much fun.
Danielle, many thanks to you as well.
Oh, thank you very much.
And thank you to everybody out in the chat for joining us. Again, we are going to have all kinds of stuff happening here on the Fandom Entertainment YouTube channel, as well as Fandom's Twitch channel, twitch.tv/fandom. Thank you to all of you for being here, and we'll catch you next time.
See you at Dexter's